Yo, what up, world? 502 King Paul coming to y'all with another video, man. Hey, first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody who's continuing to support the channel. Thank y'all for all the positive love, energy, man, that y'all not only sharing with me, but with the other people on the channel as well who post down in the comments, man. I truly just want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart before I start this video. Now, as you can already tell from the title of this video, I'm talking about two times in my life where weed cost me my freedom. Now, the first time I was young, man. I was real young. I was probably like 19, 20, somewhere around there. And, at the time, I just got back from college. I'm working. I got laid off at the time. And, so I started going back to what I knew, man, what I had been doing a lot of my life to make money on the side, selling weed. So one of my homeboys came through early in the morning. He had just got off work. He pulls up outside, and at the time, man, I'm staying with my pops. So I end up going outside, hop in the car with him, and he told me he wanted a little sack. I can't remember how much it was. It was a little small sack. But he also asked me if I wanted to smoke. Now, of course, I'm still smoking around this time too. So I'm like, man, we can smoke, but we can't smoke right outside the crib, though. Like, we got to go somewhere else. I can't just disrespect Pop's crib like that. So he's like, all right, cool. I said, man, just, you pull around the corner. So I'm thinking he's literally going to pull around the corner, man. He goes off, starts driving through the neighborhood, drive down the street. I'm like, man, what you doing? Goes out the neighborhood. He was like, man, I know a little place where we can, we can smoke at. So I'm like, part of me is like, come on, man, like, you doing too much. It's early in the morning. It's literally probably like 7 in the morning. And he goes down the street. He pulls into this park. And I'm like, bro, why are you going inside a park for? Like, it's the hottest place you can go to, 7 o'clock in the morning. We pull in. As soon as we pull into the park, police pull in right behind us. And I'm like, man, I said, just park the car, man. We'll get out and just walk. They don't know why we here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we got weed in the car, but they don't know why we at the park. I mean, we can be up here getting a workout in, doing whatever. Man, he pulls into a parking spot. He drives all the way back deep into the park, pulls into a parking spot. And then I'm thinking he's going to park. Man, he starts backing up and tries to go back out the park. So as soon as he did that, police hit the lights on us, pulls us over. There's this little racist gas station. My dad's like out on the border of the county lines. So at the time, man, it really wasn't too many black people that lived out there like that. But they pull us over in this little racist gas station. They ask us, y'all got any guns or drugs in the car and all that? I'm like, man, guns and drugs? Like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, we don't been getting reports of people that got guns and drugs and all that. And I'm like, dude, come on now. He's like, man, it's my only warning I'm gonna give y'all. If you got something, then say that y'all got it. So we like, shoot, man. It's a little bit of weed. He's like, oh, okay. So he pulls out the little sack that I had, and he was like, if this is it, you ain't got nothing to worry about. And asked my friend at the time who was driving, is this it? He's like, yeah, that's it. So they get us out the car. Look through the car. They open up dude's glove box, and he got this big sack of weed inside the glove box. And I'm like, bro, where did this come from? Because when they asked who was a little weed, I said, the little bag is mine, the little small one. But when they came out and with this big bag of weed, so he ain't never say nothing. He said, well, whose weed is this? He ain't say nothing. Keep in mind, I already done said the small one's mine. So he said, man, y'all don't say nothing. Somebody going to jail. It's like, I said, man, I'm just sitting there and they like, look, you already done said this little weed's yours. They threw the big one on me too. And I really ain't understand why he had the big bag of weed, honestly, and then asked for me to sell him some little weed. I really don't get what he was planning on doing, but, I ended up going downtown, man, for that. I don't know how much it was. I couldn't even tell you how much weed it was. It's probably, a zip or better that he had. And so they throw me inside the police car, take me downtown. that was a whole crazy experience in itself. That whole jail visit, man, that was crazy. I really don't have time to go into detail on this video, but I'll make another video, man. First time that I went to jail. And it was crazy, man. I ended up coming out that situation. I had to stay in there about a day, and then everything got sorted out. But, it was nuts, man. It was nuts. To think that, just this little bit of weed would have me locked up. Wow, I forgot this little piece too. My daughter was on the way. Her mom was pregnant, and it's Valentine's Day, and I'm locked up in jail. So, and this fool, he done called my baby mama and told her, hey, she my girl at the time. He done told her, yeah, he's locked up in jail. Woo. Like, bro, you forgot to tell the part where you let me go down there, bro, with a whole kid on the way. And didn't say nothing. Never owned up to it being his bag. None of that, man. He the one driving the car. That was the first time. Now, the second time, this was, man, I had no business doing this. And this is completely on me. But again, it involved weed. We out. Well, I said I'm out. And I said, man, I'm going to go down to the waterfront, man. I'm going to go down to the waterfront downtown. And I'm going to just smoke. Man, I had me a couple little shots of liquor, smoke, whatever. And so I do it up at the waterfront. I'm leaving from the waterfront, right? And when I'm leaving, somebody's just like, go home. I had a little voice on the inside that told me, go home, bro. You don't need to do nothing else right now. And my silly self, I said, I'm just going to cruise for a little while. It was the other voice, like, nah, you can just ride around for a little while, man. I had a little nice car. I was feeling myself. I'm like, I'm just going to ride around, man, see what I can get into, man. So I'm driving in the street where I'm at. I didn't know it's a whole police station right there. So first I see one police car. Then I see another one. Then I see another one. Then I see another. Then I see a whole, like, literally, no lie. I didn't know they was having like a riot or protest or something downtown at the time. So I'm not knowing this. I ain't paying attention to the news. Man, it's like 15 police cars at the light. They leaving from the police station, about to go, I guess, downtown, where I just came from. And I remember I was driving, and then all of a sudden I see the lights go off behind me, man. Lights went off behind me. And I'm like, fuck, what they pulling me over for? So I pull over, and, he walk up. You know why I pulled you over? There's one police officer on one side, another police officer on the other window. So one's in my driver window, the other one at the passenger window. And I got a 10 on my car. He said, you know why I pulled you over? I said, nah, why? He said, you ain't got your seatbelt on. I'm like, all right, cool. But keep in mind, I just smoked, and I got a tiny little piece of a blunt left inside the car at the time when they pulled me over. So the other officer, he's over there, like, nose in the window. And I'm like, man. So, they go back to the car, talk for a minute, and then they come back, hey, need you to step out the car. I was like, huh? He said, step out the car. Opens up my door. I need you to get out the car now. I'm like, for what? I'll tell you when you get out. Like, man, this is bogus. Well, all right, man, I got out the car. And, see, this is what tripped me up. So, I always done had a firearm. Always. I mean, we in Kentucky, man. It's real easy. Like, it's open carry. You ain't got to have no permits to conceal carry. You just, just everybody got a gun. Everybody and their mama and their granny and everybody got a gun. Well, right before when they pulled me over, I had that gun on my lap. And I put it, because I always rode around. I always ride around like that, right there on my lap. And I put it up underneath the seat. So, when they pulled me out the car, he was like, yeah, we smell weed. We got to search the vehicle. Woo. Like, all right. So they search the vehicle. They see the little tiny piece of a blunt, right? That's sitting inside of the, like the little middle console. And he was like, man, if this is it, then you ain't got to worry about nothing. Keep in mind, I done heard this before from the first story. If this is it, you ain't got to worry about nothing. So they keep on searching my vehicle. They pull me to the back, put me in handcuffs. No, they didn't put me in handcuffs yet. They just brought me to the back, had me like sit on the front of their car, but they were searching my car. And then I see officer get all happy. Man, he pulled out my gun. I had a SIG what was it? It wasn't the 360. It was, I want to say it was the P320. I can't really remember, but I remember that it was a big full size series, big gun, big army gun, and it's a handgun, but big. It's what the army used for their sidearm, basically. So he pulls it out. He's like, "Oh, we got something." He says, "It's a little cold, whatever." Man, dude, the other one in the back immediately threw me in handcuffs. Next thing you know, more police cars come up, and then they all standing around looking at it. It's like, "Man, this is a nice gun. This is a nice gun. Oh, you got a nice car." Like, they keep on throwing little jokes and stuff. Man, long story short, they told me, "Look, you can have that little bit of weed you got, and you can have a gun, but you can't have them together." Man, them fools try to hit me with a felony, man. I had to fight that, and that was, during the time, that's when the courts were slow and everything. So it took forever, and I had to go a long time, man. In the meantime, they was like, they took my gun, they confiscated my gun, all over this little tiny blunt. They took my gun, it's like a $500 gun. Took that, and then I ain't never get it back. I never got it back to this day. But they took it. They didn't lock me up, but I had to fight that for a long time, man, a real long time. And it's just crazy. I'm like, man, all this over a little tiny little roach y'all found inside the car? Like, this is ridiculous. I ended up getting it thrown out, man. Thank God, for real. I ended up getting it thrown out. But it was just bogus. Even when I went to court, the judge was like, I hate seeing stuff like this because they're abusing the law. The law wasn't meant to be used in this way, because essentially what they're saying is you can't have the gun and the weed together, because they look at that like it's an enhancement charge, an enhanced charge to where enhanced possession, where if you have a gun and you have drugs, they assume that you're using the gun to protect the drugs, but it was a roach. So why am I protecting that with a gun? They just used it, man, to try to put a case on me, put an F on my chest, man, and I'm like, it didn't go down that way. But, I just wanted to share these stories, not because I think it's cool. I don't think nothing about these stories is cool. For real, I look back on them like, bro, you was taking so many chances, not even just them 2 times, but you was taking so many chances on this stuff, man. And it was another time, too, back in college, man, where they came into one of my homeboys' room. So I guess somebody reported we was in there smoking. This is when we was in the dorm, and I had a little tiny piece inside my pocket, man. I ended up having to do community service for that too. So really, this is 3 times that, my freedom, man, like playing with your, and when I say freedom, I don't even mean just your freedom as far as like you being locked up behind a wall. I mean your freedom, like they took away my gun rights for a couple of years. They took away my freedom when I had to go to jail. They took away my freedom when I, couldn't do what I wanted to do that summer. I got to do community service for a little corner of a baggie of weed, man. Like, it's crazy. And I just think about it because it's wild that, I went through all that and was still smoking, man. Like, it's really not worth it. It ain't worth it whatsoever. I don't care if you live in a place where it's legal, man. They got so many different laws and stuff, man. You got to know these laws. You got to know these laws. You got to know you can't have no gun and have weed. Like, that ain't going down. You got to know that you can't be riding around smoking the weed, because they can hit you with a driving under the influence. It's a lot of different ways they can trip you up, man. But I'm just putting out this video to keep people on point that, sometimes, man, it just ain't worth it. It just ain't worth it. If you are going to smoke weed and that's what you want to do, then just know that, man, you just got to move right with it. You got to move right. Anyway, I just want to put out this video, man, because I'm out here thinking, and it just came to mind today, and I said, you know what, I'm going to share these stories with the people out here in the YouTube community. Once again, I appreciate y'all love, appreciate the support. Keep on tuning in, keep on hitting that like button, subscribing, leaving a comment. If you ever got jammed up over some weed, man, leave your story down below. I just say me too, if you don't want to go into specifics, man. Curious to see what y'all got to say in the comments. Love y'all. Till next time, y'all stay blessed. 502 King Paul. I'm out of here.